This is where it all began.
This is where, well, no, this is not where it all began.
Exactly.
Friendship-wise, it all began outside of, what is that place called?
About to say Shack Daddy.
But yeah, well,
Secret Pour.
Secret Pour.
Secret Pour.
Podcast-wise, it all began not even in their new studio, literally in the basement.
I'm going to be coughing.
Okay. So that'll be fine. When you cough, I'll eat a Cheez-It.
Perfect. I'm sure our listeners are going to love this.
And we do have a treat for some of our viewers. We're sorry.
If you know, you know. We
Honestly,
just had to put our feet up on the table for
I
a
could
second.
do this for like a little bit. Not for the whole episode, but for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Anyway, while our feet are up, I'm Hanna.
And I'm Nora.
And you're listening to High Heels and Punchlines.
Hi.
I need a pedicure back.
Really? Oh,
There's no way anyone wants to see my feet right now.
Mine are nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to be like,
no.
nice.
Mine are rough right now.
I would get another one, though.
I'm doing a foot mask when I get home tonight.
Oh, my God. Is that when they take your feet and they're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I needed squeaky this time.
No. Because you know what we realized? When I watched the episode that was Squeaky Chair the first time, it's not as loud with these mics. Like I feel like it's not silent. It's not like you miss it, but it's not as loud as it feels to us right now.
Okay, but if you want me in the squeaky, I'm down.
I'll let you know.
Maybe for the second
one.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
We're gonna do it today.
We're doing it.
We're gonna recap the episode, which we used to do every week. It's just hard, but you know what? This feels like business a little bit. This does still feel like a hang because like of the location and the vibe. Mm-hmm. Oh, and look at my shirt. Nora got me this shirt, which is I'm mostly wearing it
for those comfort. Who are listening. I got her a Steve shirt.
And what type of shirt is this with the graphic and then
it has like it's like that TikTok thing where people get shirts that are like with 100 pictures of the person and then like lightning bolts and it says Steve
in big.
I was about to say this and it's really cool. So if you're listening right now, actually what you should do is go on YouTube and check us out online as well, because then you can see the real action, which is the shirt, and we just put our feet up on the table.
Yeah.
So I was about to say the Steve Buscemi shirt, but that's not Steve Buscemi.
This is not Steve Buscemi.
Anyways,
do you know that Steve Buscemi is like a common fear for people? Like they're afraid of what he looks like.
Did you know that Steve Buscemi's son went to middle school with me?
Does he look anything like Steve Buscemi, or you just know that? Does he have those eyes?
Kind of. He was really cool.
So wait, you grew up, Steve Buscemi lived in that area, or?
I guess so.
That's cool.
Because I lived here, I lived in New York for a couple years, and then I went back to DC. Mm-hmm. And during the time that I was living here, I went to school, actually down the street from here, and Lucian Buscemi, who's Steve's son. Lucian. You know, it's one of those things. I think that's his name, Lucian.
There's things that, like, at first glance are not a name. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why would you pick that name? But then you kind of, like, say it a bunch, and it's just a name. Like, celebrities name their kids crazy things all the time. And then you like just say North. It seemed crazy at first, but now Northwest. Like,
yeah,
that's
like,
her name.
That's her name.
Even naming my dog Stinky. It gets a reaction at first, but the more he's Stinky, that's his name. That's his vibe. That's his name.
Totally. He's so
Lucian.
stinky.
He's so stinky.
Steve Buscemi's son was so cool.
Really?
Yeah, he was like the cool kid. He had like a rock band, and he was only in 8th grade, and he
Here we go again.
And he had like big curly hair.
Okay.
I don't know. And then it was like, he's Steve Buscemi's son, and it's like right around the time of The Sopranos, so it was like.
Oh, I forgot he was in The Sopranos.
Yeah.
You know what I really know Steve Buscemi from? Mm-hmm. Oh, that his really weird character on 30 Rock.
I didn't watch 30 Rock. I know.
What?
I'm sorry.
Can I say something about 30 Rock?
Sure.
It is, I believe there's certain sitcoms that are good for certain weather for a rewatch. 30 Rock, something about New York, and they like have, they really cover Christmas episodes. It's an amazing like winter rewatch.
Really?
I rewatch it every December.
Maybe I'll do that during my surgery.
Because now is fall. Mm-hmm. I always rewatch The Mindy Project in the fall.
I didn't like The Mindy Project either. I thought it was cheesy.
I mean, it was cheesy.
Which was such a bummer because I love Mindy Kaling. I read her memoir. I love her. I love The Office.
The first couple seasons of The Mindy Project, I really liked. I thought they were good. Mm-hmm. I thought they were kind of relatable, especially at that time. I was dating a lot, and this was before I lost weight, so I just was like, yeah, but I was like overconfident, but like men like did not like that. They were like, you shouldn't be, and I was like, Mindy's doing it.
Men are so nice.
Men are so good. They're just
so good to us.
Always trying to take you down a peg,
which actually is in the episode.
I think Sex and the City is a really good summer show because I think most of their episodes are summer. Most of Mindy's episodes were fall. Most of 30 Rock is Christmas. So that's why I rewatch shows all the time, like sitcoms.
I watch The Office all day long.
And that's a real all year show.
That's an all year round. There's Christmas episodes, there's Halloween episodes.
No summer. They always are away for the summer.
No, they have some summer moments where it's really hot.
They do. But normally the season will start off with like, what I do this summer? Because the documentary crew does it.
Yeah.
I'm watching, and then we'll talk about this show, Sex and the City. But I listened to the Office Lady podcast while watching The Office, rewatching The Office.
Yeah.
And don't say it, but like, I don't remember how it ends.
The Office?
Yeah.
It's like stupid.
Okay, well, I'm feeling a lot of anxiety because I've rewatched The Office a ton, but no one ever, when you rewatch a show, you don't watch the finale episode, just like you don't watch the pilot episode.
Yeah.
You like get to your, like you get to like, you do like season 2 through 5
you get to your sweet
over
spot,
and over
and
again.
you're just kind of like, okay, let's keep going.
And there's a lot going
really
on
bad.
between Jim and Pam and Dwight, and like Angela is out of her house. Like there's a lot going on, and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to come together at all.
I truly believe that Pam,
I really disagree with
Holly, and the what's the I was about to say the waitress, the receptionist, the new Erin,
the waitress,
destroy The Office.
See, because
the combo of them three, it's like, it just, that plus all of the changes. Season 6, it's just like, what the fuck is going on anymore? Like everyone likes Michael now. Like what? Like,
I think if it's a show that they decided was going to end, it made sense to have all these love stories wrap up and have like characters that have like personal growth.
Yeah.
But like, listening to the podcast, I've learned that there was a point where they thought The Office was going to be like Days of Our Lives. Like there was a point where they thought the show would be going on like The Simpsons, like forever. And they would just keep adding new people to The Office. Like on ER, I don't know if you ever watched ER. Like, of course, there was like the Clooney days where it was like the most famous, but then like just new doctors got hired and it kept going, kind of like Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
There was a point where that was the plan. And so it's kind of like, okay, then why are we wrapping up a love story?
Right.
If you want this to go on forever, Michael can never be likable.
Yeah.
Pam and Jim need to have a stable love story or like none at all.
Right.
We don't need to learn who Erin's birth mother is.
It's like so crazy.
That was crazy.
It's really crazy. Okay, wait. Oh my God. Damn it. Wait. Okay.
How long have we been talking?
I have no idea.
What?
I think we started at like noon, so I'm just going to say 12. So it's been maybe 15 minutes of...
No.
Or at least 10.
Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, so we'll talk about this. The show. We watched season 2, episode 16. Was It Good For You? Is the name of the episode. And I'll give you the highlights.
Yes.
Okay, so Charlotte's date falls asleep on her during sex. Samantha is invited to have a threesome with 2 gay men. And Carrie's date becomes addicted to her. And Carrie's question is kind of a curveball question compared to what's happening in this episode. But I feel like normally her questions are like really deep. And this one was, how do you know if you're good in bed?
Yeah.
It was like her main question.
This is like something actually that stresses me out though. Like I don't like, was it you that said like you come off like you're really good in bed? You said that to me once or something? Or I said that to you or something like that?
I felt like in my single days, I felt like my vibe, especially because I was really forward, I feel like people always thought I was like kind of crazy in bed. Yeah. And like, I mean, Wolf and I have a great sex life, but like, I'm really, really, I like not into be like put us down. It's not. I'm like vanilla. Yeah. Like if you were like even like accidentally hit me, like we would have to like unpack that for hours.
Right.
Like if you were to like reposition and like elbow me, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Things got way out of hand in here.
Yeah.
But I didn't used to be like that, but I think that's who I am now. But I think a lot of guys always thought it was going to be this crazy experience. And I was like,
well, that's the thing is like when I tell people that we have a Sex and the City podcast and they're like, ooh, like especially on dates. And I'm like, no, I'm not like a big sex person.
I feel the most
like I just
like
it's a
Carrie
great show.
sexually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like Charlotte in this episode, which we'll get into, she's going above and beyond to make sure the sex is good for the man.
Right.
And Samantha loves having sex, pleasure both ways.
Right.
Carrie and kind of Miranda seem kind of like, I like to have sex and I want it to be good, but if he has a bad time, like that's kind of on him. I feel like that's Miranda's vibe. And if she has a bad time, you know, like it doesn't seem like their whole world.
Yeah. Well, Carrie's more obsessed with the
like,
day-to-day issues. Like the, why didn't you include me in XYZ because I'm your girlfriend kind of thing.
Right. Like Carrie though, like I don't think Carrie's rocking anyone's world in bed.
Except for this.
But I don't think...
Wait, except for this guy.
Except for this guy. But I don't think, like... I feel like I relate to Carrie. Like, it is... Sex with me is definitely good. And if we're doing certain things can be great. But I would guess with the majority population of men, I probably don't match what they're looking for sexually.
Okay.
Because I'm not super adventurous.
Yeah.
Only because I did that for so long that I'm done trying new things.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
And I didn't really like any of the stuff I tried.
And that's how you know.
And that's how I know.
That's
and
all,
so
that's
sorry to report to Wolf, like, no, we're not trying that. I already did that with someone else.
It's done.
And it wasn't good.
And that's okay. I feel like knowing yourself too is really good and just being like, okay, well, we did that and that wasn't fun, so never again.
But I do think I'm good in bed. Do you think you're good in bed?
I don't know. I like literally, I had sex 2 nights ago and it was good. He was like, it was great. And I'm not just saying that to toot my own horn. Like he was like, wow, like great, like blah, blah, blah. And like giving me affirmations. But I'm like, oh, like, I hope I don't know. After I'm always kind of like, oh, did I do the right thing? I don't know. But I think that's how you feel when you're dating versus like when you have a partner. Like I'm excited to like, or not excited, but like I'm looking forward to the time when I have someone more consistent where I can like, we can give each other like feedback and stuff where I don't have to just like wonder. This guy we've been kind of consistent, so it's like maybe who knows
next
what's gonna happen.
you can give feedback.
But like, yeah, I think we're on that path. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, yeah, it's just like I don't really know
that like women are the only ones who really can judge if someone's good in bed. Like for men, don't you feel like, not saying this is not about you because I bet you're great in bed, but like for men having sex with women, like there's not a lot of ways it could be bad, but like I don't come from penetrative sex, so you have to do other things for me to come,
right?
And those other things can be done poorly.
Yes.
Where I feel like what I need to do for men to come, it's hard to mess up. Like when guys say like, oh my God, you're great in bed. Like I'm like, you know, you put it in, you took it out. Like it's like, there's no way I could have made that. Like
that is really true.
Like,
wait,
but
that's exactly how I feel.
It's just like,
yes.
But like with me, like if you want me to come, like, okay, I'll let you know if you're good in bed. Like, I guess I'm good in bed because of how bare minimum.
Right. One thing I do know for sure is that I'm a great kisser. I've gotten a lot of feedback on it. Mm-hmm. And so I put a cough drop in my mouth.
I saw.
So it's like, I'm just letting everyone know. So if they hear a little like
lisp,
click, but maybe it's a little ASMR.
A little click, not a lisp.
Oh, like a little, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Or a lisp. I've gotten feedback on kissing, which I love. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like I'm a very good, I can assess who's good and who's not.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I will die on this hill. I've always been told I give the best blowjobs.
Wow.
And I know I give the best blowjobs because when I had those 2 hymens and couldn't have sex for what was ended up being 4 years of wanting to have sex, realizing I have the hymens, 4 years until surgery, I would like go to a guy's house and we'd start hooking up, and then like I'd go down on them, and I was like just trying to put off having sex. So I was always trying to get them to come so they could be like, shit, I came from the blowjob. So then no one had to learn about my hymens. So I'd be like, oh, it's okay. Like, you can just eat me out now. Like,
God, being a woman is so crazy.
So then I feel like I got really good at giving head because I was like, that was like my goal. Because also sometimes I would tell guys about the hymens. And they would know the deal. Like, we can't have sex. We can do other stuff, but we can't have sex.
Did they know you were going to get them removed?
Well, at that point, it wasn't until my senior year of college that there was a surgery on the books. There were 3 years where I had no concept of how long I'd be living with this.
Wow.
And so it's a long story to tell. And it's like, if I just met you at a bar, like...
You're going to tell it.
No. But sometimes it was like, I can't tell this story over and over.
In fact, I think I've seen you at a bar just meeting someone and telling someone about your double hymens.
But when I was meeting guys and they were into me and we were like going back to their place, I was like, okay, I can give them head and get them to come from head, and then they'll be like, shit, I already came. And I'll be like, oh, no worries. And then I don't need to talk about the hymens.
Okay.
But sometimes if it wasn't going that way, I'll be like, you can't get in.
Yeah. That's
There's
really
no way
crazy.
in.
There's no
and
way.
And I had
in.
a lot of guys say like, oh, so you do anal? And I was like, nope.
Nope.
Oh, one hole's closed.
Another one opens.
Anal and vaginal sex, like they're 2 really different things. And it's such a male thing to just be like, hole. It's a hole. Like, let me put it in the
men
hole.
Love anal.
Yeah. I should have said, I guess you do.
Yeah.
Gay.
Okay. I mean, look, people, and I think I've said this on the pod before, it's scientifically proven that all men love anal. So I don't understand why why it's just gay men enjoying anal. It should be everyone.
Well, I feel like we've made it.
We've made it
a gay thing.
And we just did on the pod.
We literally are part of the problem. Gay.
But yeah, we need to make anal more acceptable for straight men. I'd be down to like peg someone or something.
Great. I'm gonna pivot to the gay guys.
Okay.
What did you think of Samantha and these gay guys and this plot?
Those guys were so scary. First of all, they were like, hey.
When they saw her, when she saw the story, Samantha's gay male friends who are together, they're like a couple, ask her to have a threesome with them. They said they want to have sex with the woman, but like there's only one woman they think is sexy or like would want to do it with, and it's her. And she decides she's going to do it. She's going to have sex, have a threesome with these 2 gay guys who are her friends.
Right.
But like when it's finally time for the threesome, she's having second thoughts, and then she sees them there in their underwear, hard, like standing there. And then she's like, okay, I can do this. But I was like, that visual, I would have been like, I've got to go. Like,
I don't know. Maybe this goes back to me being Charlotte vibes. I don't know if I could hook up with 2 men. I feel like so scared. I'm so scared of men because of how shitty they've been in the past.
That's fair.
To get real. And
could
like,
you hook up with 2 gay men?
Like, I guess, but I just like, then I'd be like, I know they don't want to do this, so why are we doing this?
I feel like I'd be way more insecure having sex with being like Samantha here and having a 302 gay guys than I would be with 2 straight guys.
Oh, totally. I would be like, they're just doing this as like a weird experiment. They're not actually enjoying this.
And then like, I'm going to like possibly like reveal to them what turns me on, and I'm going to like come in front of them, and like, I don't want them to have that visual.
Yeah.
Like straight men can have that because we're going to do the same thing and like it's sexy to them. But I was like,
yeah,
I wouldn't want to be some experiment.
I feel like it was a kind of weirdly objectifying for Samantha. It was kind of like we want to fuck a woman. It was just kind of like, oh.
But the only thing I did like about this storyline is when she tells Carrie, and Carrie such a Gen Z outfit. That big curly hair, that light wash denim skirt, and the tank and the little heel, just carrying a book. Has nothing on her but a book, like so Gen Z, like you're Carrie. Just like say thank you to her. But Carrie's being so judgy, and Samantha goes, for a sex columnist, you have a really limited view of sexuality. And I was like, thank you. I'm glad her friends finally know that.
And she calls out pansexuality, which she's right.
Eventually we're all going to be pansexual.
And like that's kind of true now. I literally like she predicted the future in this episode.
She really did. And like Carrie's the one being judgmental about it, and it's like, open your eyes, Carrie.
Literally.
It's happening now. But I thought I've had an orgy before, so I've had sex while two guys were part of it. It was a fivesome, but I didn't feel scared. But in this orgy situation, there was a big like where we all sat together and said our rules and our boundaries before.
Wow.
And then we all smoked a little weed, except me. And obviously. So everyone smoked a little weed. And we
all smoked weed before the orgy, except for Hanna.
I just kind of sat there going like this. And there was like cool music playing, and everyone knew each other.
Music?
It was like Tame Impala. Cool music.
Where was this, college?
No, this was after college. It was a bridal party hooked up together.
Wait, what?
It was the 3 bridesmaids and 2 guys.
And it was after the wedding?
It was the night before the wedding.
Were you guys like wasted? Was it planned that you were going to do that?
No, so it was, it was my 2 friends.
There's so much going on at a wedding. You also planned an orgy?
It was last minute. So
it was not planned.
Not planned at all. But when we did, so my 2 friends, we were all bridesmaids together. I don't think they would care, but I'll just use different names. Sarah and Maggie. Okay. We're all bridesmaids together. Sarah is dating Matt. And Sarah and Matt have orgies all the time. They like go to orgies as a couple. Okay.
Yeah.
And with Maddie would sometimes be their third.
Her name was Maggie.
Maggie would sometimes be her third. So like Sarah, Maggie, and Matt had all had sex together before. And so then we're out at like this like bar the night before, and they're talking, and I'm being like who I am, and I'm like, you guys, like, no, like, this sucks. Like, you're going to go have your orgy. They're, like, talking about having their orgy. And I was like, no one even asked me. No one wants to have sex with me. And they were like, you said you would never have an orgy. And I was like, well, if you're planning one and we're all together, I'll have one. But I want to bring somebody in, too. And they're like, who? And I was like, I don't know. But, like, you guys have all had sex before. I don't want to be the only new person who's never had an orgy before. Like, I'll go get somebody. And they were like, well, don't get someone, like, scary. And I was like,
is Matt like, I hope it's another woman?
I don't know what Matt thought. I go get this guy who you know because he interacts with us a lot on Instagram. I get him, and I'm like, we're doing this. You want to come with us? And he gets in the car. We all go. But Maggie, Sarah, and Matt, I'm amazed I remember those names.
Whoa, wait. I'm trying to think about who this is. Huh? I can't. Can you write it down? Sorry, this is so fucked up for our. I need to know who interacts with us a lot. I don't know who that is, Hanna.
I tried to set you up with him once.
What?
Yes. I told you he was the one messaging us stuff about podcasting. Remember he invited us to that event?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Him.
So you had sex with him?
Sort of.
Okay.
He wasn't my main event.
Okay.
In the experience.
Your main event was Matt and the girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
He was kind of like he was like definitely like keeping things going.
Did Matt and the guy hook up?
Well, the orgy kind of ended early because I guess Sarah and Matt had a rule that they didn't disclose to the group because it was a private rule to never have unprotected sex, to either like just have it with each other and do oral with everyone or to wear a condom. And Sarah came back in and he was having unprotected sex with Maggie.
Oh my God.
And so then it was me and you know who alone in the room. And I was like, where did everybody go? They knew I was already insecure about joining this orgy. And then we go out and there's like a naked fight happening. They're all naked and they're all yelling at each other. Wow. And she's saying like to him that she was mad at him, but she then was saying like mean things about the girl. Like, why would you want to have sex with her?
Oh,
and then so that became a big fight.
Wow, Maggie sucks.
It was a rough night, but now the girls are friends. Matt is no longer in the picture.
Oh, good.
But Matt is friends with that guy still.
And they had just met that night.
No, I learned that they had like went to college together.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't come together that night. It was like random that I chose him.
That is so funny. And then you had to do the wedding the next day.
Yeah.
And
and then because
the issue wasn't resolved the next day, I'm assuming it took time.
It was a rough morning, but we knew the bride would have literally shot us all in the head if she learned we had an orgy. She was so like prim and proper if she had learned that. So we all needed to just be like, nothing happened. No one's fighting.
She was being like Bridezilla vibes.
No,
or
she
just like she's like
she was like a Disney princess. She was just like this cute, proper girl. Like if she learned her bridal party had an orgy after a rock show, like she would have been like.
The rehearsal dinner was a rock show?
No, the rehearsal dinner was at like 5. So then we went out after.
Oh, okay.
She like, but she was like, had no tattoos. Her hair.
She had no tattoos.
She had no tattoos. She didn't have a hair out of place. She had like the sweetest little voice. And then me and the other 2 girls are like covered in tattoos, like
having an orgy,
having orgies, getting wasted at the event.
Right.
I had sex with the bride's cousin, in our car during the wedding.
So another person. He should have come to the orgy.
Well, he didn't know about the orgy. I met him at the wedding the next day. It was a crazy wedding.
Have I ever told you my orgy story?
No.
Okay, so when I was in college, and I won't use names, but basically I was having a big house party, and I walk into my room and everyone is fucking in my room. I went
How many is everyone?
Not like fucking, but like there's some people like giving people blowjobs.
Your room was like becoming the hookup room.
It was like the hookup, and then one person was fucking, and then another person was eating someone out. And it was just like a lot going on. They're all my friends. We had like a close group of friends, and I was kind of like, oh, this is really intense. My room was always at every house party, kind of like the place where you went to go do drugs and like hang out, as you probably can imagine.
That matches.
Sasha was like the only room in the house where we were allowed to smoke cigarettes, aka I let everyone smoke cigarettes.
We were allowed to.
But anyways, so yeah, I left. I then met this guy at the party, like in my house, and we started hooking up on the couch. And then there were it was like 2 a.m. and there were a bunch of like grassroots activist people who had come to the party, because my other friend who lived in the house, my roommate, she was like part of like this like grassroots organizing thing. Mm-hmm. 2 of those people, they like passed out, and they were across from us, and I was like, I cannot hook up in front of these like grassroots people. Like this is just like really intense. Like I don't even know who they are. And so I was like, let's go back into my room, assuming that like everyone would be gone. Right. Everyone was still hooking up, and it actually had escalated. Okay. And I sat down and I looked at him and I was like, so these are my friends.
Don't mind what they're up to.
And then we just started hooking up a little bit in my room. But it's like, was I part of? So when people ask me like, oh, have you ever been part of an orgy? It's like, yeah, I went to one.
Yeah, you attended one.
I attended one. It was in my space.
Were you guys like looking at each other?
Yeah, I mean, it was completely insane. I then like at one point I like kind of started like making out with one of my friends, but like it was mainly like I was just with this guy that I had brought back, and then eventually it's kind of like, can you guys like I'm like trying to have my own thing here, and you guys are like, all my friends are here.
Room, like,
it's not even just like, oh, all your friends are here to hang out. It's like all of your friends are fucking in your room.
That's really
like,
a lot. This is UMass?
Yes, this is UMass.
I wouldn't
and
have
that, my friends, is UMass. UMass ruled. It was so funny. And then the next morning it was so funny. It was the next morning we were just like,
it's so college.
Yeah.
This is
we
so
were just
college.
like the orgy, and we kept referring to the orgy, and like
I feel like it's more like a group sex party.
Yeah. Our parties in college ended a lot in like, it was a very hippie vibe. Like it was very like Grateful Dead, like One Love kind of vibe. And so a lot of our parties like ended with people topless, like naked. It was just kind of like a free love situation.
I think the New York college experience is great,
totally
but you just don't like. We're going out. We're not. I didn't go to a house party. Like I went. I was at the bars. There was no like hookup room. Like
yeah.
And if you were gonna bring somebody back, you either you had to get back before a certain time to sign them in, or you hope that they have an apartment and you can go to theirs.
We were like in houses in the woods, so it was like anything goes. There's
One
a bonfire
in the woods.
There's a bonfire outside. The Grateful Dead's playing.
UMass Nora. I wish I could meet her.
You probably. It's so crazy how much you can change as a person, and when I look back at pictures of myself at UMass, I'm like, holy shit.
I mean, when I check out what was happening in my Pace days, you saw that video of me singing Ice Ice Baby. Come on, get up.
Hanna showed me a video of her at Bed Bath & Beyond singing Ice Ice Baby, which we have to get back to the episode, but like that is we should just, if we restart our Patreon, we should just put that on it.
If we met before now in our lives, it would be like right person, wrong time, like we're meant to be friends, but like we'd be dead if like drunk horny Hanna was meeting up with like Nora, like UMass Nora. Like I don't think I'd be alive to tell the tale.
It'd be really we're insane.
Both kind of intense people, and we really get on board with what the others doing. But now we don't do that other stuff, so like what we're getting on board with is like this podcast,
and like stealing,
and like stealing. I guess that could still get us in trouble.
Literally, but like that's the most risky thing we do is like we
but like
steal.
If we met when we were like real risk takers, I think people would have been afraid if we showed up.
Literally. And I have some friends who had same energy, and it was really crazy.
And like I remember the friends who, if we went out together, like
it was over.
God, there was a couple people I was friends with where like if there wasn't a third friend who was gonna be like, guys, wait.
Oh my God
only knows what we were up to. I don't remember a thing of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what we got up to.
I knew there's always that friend that was like kind of like, hey guys, like this is kind of weird. And then there was that friend that was like, let's fucking go. And we'd always kind of like drop that friend off kind of earlier in the night.
Yeah, you want to get them off your plate.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
So you can get back to what you're up to.
Let's get back to the real business here.
Okay, and now we'll get back to the real business here.
Can I say a fun fact? Okay, in a study released online in advance of its publication, in Applied Cognitive Psychology of the Department of Psychology at University College London, investigated an audience's ability to recall advertisements under varying circumstances in comparing advertisements placed in Was It Good For You by Sex and the City, this episode, versus those placed in an episode of Malcolm in the Middle. The researchers discovered that programs heavy on sexual content actually led to less recall of ads that appeared in the commercial breaks, and that sex was only an effective tool for selling to men.
Wow. That was very fun. Why did you read it word for word? Okay, so people watching
my
Sex
friends is a fun fact.
So people watching Sex and the City didn't the ads in between, like when it was playing live,
right?
Not product placement in the episode, because I don't think
no. What they were trying to do was they used this specific episode, Was It Good For You, because they knew it was based about sex, and they compared the advertisements that they ran during this episode
to Malcolm in the Middle.
And it turned out that people had less recall of the ads that appeared in the commercial break with the programs on sexual the program that had more sexual content. So, for example, in Sex and the City.
But it worked for men?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
It's a fun fact.
So men watching that episode
recalled men watching this episode of Sex and the City recalled the advertisements that were played to them more than they recalled the advertisements played to them in Malcolm in the Middle.
And women was the opposite.
Women, the opposite.
That's interesting. What do you think that's about? Like men are more alert because
or
sex
like
is happening?
or like maybe kind of.
And like women aren't alert, but like are just not. I don't know how to make the opposite.
They're like not as I think arousal leading to like buying material goods maybe might be a thing, because I'm assuming it's an ad for something. Whereas like women are like unfazed by that, but like maybe they're thinking about it more when it's like Malcolm in the Middle is like a kind of like a home vibe.
That's catching their alertness. They're wanting to buy because they're wanting. Well, people want to buy things when they think it's gonna get them what they want in life.
Right. And I just thought it was interesting because it was this specific episode they used in the study.
Well, this episode, I will say, is really sex heavy. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's jump ahead to the very end to the massage. So Charlotte, the episode starts with the guy Charlotte's with is as a doctor, and he falls asleep on her in bed, and she's crying and she's mortified, and the girls are like trying to comfort her except for Samantha. Samantha's like, we knew she was bad in bed, whatever.
So mean.
That was so mean, because you don't know, just because maybe Charlotte isn't a Samantha in bed doesn't mean she's bad in bed. Also, above all the other girls, okay, maybe not Samantha, Charlotte goes for it. Her man's falling asleep in bed. Most women would never want to see him again.
Right.
Charlotte is taking a class on how to please her man.
Literally.
So I think Samantha was unfairly judging her. Mm-hmm. But she gets tickets for all the girls to go to this class where this older woman in her home is going to do a special massage on her husband's penis until he finishes, which lands on Miranda's face and hair.
Why did they not make a bigger deal of that?
That was really upsetting.
That was so gross.
But can I just say I want to know what that massage is?
Same. I kept being like, come on, just show us what it is.
We
should Google it.
I should have looked it up before this episode, but if that is a thing, I want to know how to do it, and I want to start doing it.
Really?
I think so.
Why?
Because I want to know if it's so crazy.
Oh, okay.
I want to know, her husband was obviously very happy, and then he came. Yeah. But then when Charlotte does it to her guy,
he's screaming.
He's freaking out.
What did you think about would you go to a class for sex or a therapist? Would you go to a sex therapist?
Okay, I do believe I should go to a sex therapist because I do think I have unresolved trauma.
Oh no, I mean personally, I should. Yeah, we should do a 2-for-1. Honestly,
we love to do that at the massage place. We're always getting a 2-for-1.
We also need sex therapy. No, but I'm saying with your partner.
I don't
with Wolf.
know.
Well, maybe it's not Wolf.
Wolf takes some stuff really seriously, and then other stuff I don't know. I don't know if Wolf would be a good companion unless we were having serious trouble. Right now we're not having serious trouble. So if I'm trying to get him to go to the sex area, he'd be like, what are we doing?
No. If you were in a partnership with someone and you guys were having a problem with your sex life, would you feel comfortable going, not necessarily to that lady, but
I definitely didn't like that lady. I would not go to her class.
Yeah.
But if the stakes are high in my relationship, yes. If they're low, no. Yeah. Wolf and I live together and we've adopted a dog together. We're going to give stuff our best shot before we throw in the towel, you know?
Right.
If we reach a problem like this, we'll be going to a sex therapist.
Okay.
If we're fighting all the time, we're going to go to couples therapy. Because stakes are higher now. If I was dating a guy, we didn't live together, we've only been together a year, then all of a sudden our sex life is bad, I'd have to really be okay, is there something really here for me to now go through sex therapy with this person?
Right.
You know?
Right.
It depends what's on the line.
Right. I don't know. Yeah.
Seems like Charlotte was like just dating this guy, and now she's like learning how to give a penis massage.
And we learned in the next episode, I won't jump to it, but like, where did he go?
No, it's all that for nothing.
It was literally for nothing.
I also like, I was dying at her showing up, like with her glasses on and her notepad.
She looks like Legally Blonde. She looks like Reese Witherspoon when she shows up for law school.
I did, as much as I thought they were being annoying, I thought they were really like Carrie and Miranda were us.
Yeah.
Like we just like cannot believe we're here.
Yeah.
Like a friend of ours has begged us to come. To wrap up the Samantha storyline, the guys get to her vagina and decide they don't want to have sex with her anymore. And so Samantha, I thought it was funny that Samantha, who's been like joking at Charlotte, is now like paying attention in this lesson because she feels a little insecure after what happened.
Right.
But it was really funny when they were like, let's all put our clothes on and get some gelati.
That was really, really funny.
I just like, she just looked so good in her long, like she did too much for these gay guys. She's in this like silk nightgown. Like
she does a lot. And I think that the gay guys themselves are just they were so robotic and creepy.
They really were.
They were like so.
They were not hot gay guys.
Yeah,
they were a lot of hot gay guys.
Yeah, they could have cast like literally anyone else.
The guy who cut my hair
should have been there.
Haircut is first time on the pod. I have short hair now.
For those of you listening, get your YouTube up because Hannah's hair looks dope.
I have a short cut, which I thought would literally never look good on me. And I love it so much. Mm-hmm. The only thing is I'm having a hard time styling it the way he styled it. But
figure it out.
He like...
Well, everyone always has that problem. You leave the hair salon, it's like, and you get the product and it like doesn't work.
Well, he showed me what he did, which was he didn't let it dry all the way. Mm-hmm. And then he started straightening it and he straightened the bottom pieces. But then at the top, he like kind of added a wave to my hair.
You're never going to be able to do that.
Well, he let me try a couple pieces. I felt
There's
like I
no
had
way.
it.
It's over.
So I've just been straightening and then adding the product a little bit to like give it a little volume.
Was your hair like frying when he was doing that? Oh, wow.
He said you never want to fry the hair. But he said people think you're frying it because it's wet, but you're doing more damage when it's fully dry.
I don't think that's true.
Well, when it's fully dry, the hair doesn't have a chance to rehydrate. But he didn't straighten the whole head. So he just like did like a little on the bottom and then the top pieces. And then after it dried, he did a little fluffing.
Isn't it so crazy how like when you go to see a barber or not a barber. Like I've never seen a barber.
Nor is that the barber. I've never seen a barber.
I've never been to one. No, like when you go to see when you go to your salon or something and you talk to someone who does hair, or like this past weekend 2 weekends ago I was in a wedding. And was it 2 weekends ago? No, it was last weekend. I don't remember. I was in a wedding and they had a makeup artist.
Oh, last weekend?
Yeah. And it's like you take everything they say as like fact. You're like, I was asking so many questions to the makeup artist.
Why?
I was like, what's good? What's bad? Like, what's real? And she's like, XYZ. And she's like, I'm really having to like think while I'm doing your makeup. Like,
I feel like
she told me a lot of insider secrets, but and
like
then it's
what?
like how do we know that it's true? But she did do the makeup really well. You saw. Everything
looked gorgeous, but like, did you feel like that was a lot of makeup on your face, or did it not feel like a lot?
It felt like a lot, and I know that I looked a little Facetoony, but like,
you had full glam.
I had full glam.
You looked gorgeous. You just looked like you had makeup on.
I didn't look like myself.
You looked a different person. Like yourself.
My aunt came in at one point. And she saw the makeup and she was like, you have the perfect face for makeup. The perfect face. And I was like, thank you.
What does that mean?
I know. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I should always be
having it on?
It looks so She's like, no, you just have the cheekbones and the structure of the eyebrows.
I guess for someone playing with makeup,
you just have like the perfect face to put makeup on. And I was like, I don't know. She's a little older, but like
maybe like saying like if for someone like practicing makeup, you're a good canvas is nicer. Or does that not sound nicer?
Like, I feel like a good canvas is someone who looks really busted that you like can then remake.
You're right. You're
like,
right.
A good
you're right.
canvas
I don't think that's what she meant, but
no,
that is a better
my
compliment.
aunt's amazing. She did not mean that, but like I think the best canvas would be someone who's really unattractive.
Yeah, but not so unattractive. They need to have some of the basics.
Anyways, I hate to break it to you, Kylie, her products trash.
Suck.
But
I don't know if that's really breaking anything to me. Like I wear makeup maybe like once a month.
I know, but
even right now, I feel like I look like full glam and like I have the smallest amount of makeup on.
Well, I'm just saying.
I hate wearing makeup.
I love makeup and I wear a lot of it. Not like excessive amounts, but like I love like a fun eyeshadow or something.
Yeah, you got me into eyeshadow a little bit, but then remember
fun color.
Couldn't maintain it.
Yeah, I love like a fun lip, fun eyeshadow moment. I don't put a lot of like foundation on, although I probably should start because I'm having some sort of like 17-year-old acne breakout.
I think it's just nerves.
Do you see my face? Like literally what is happening? I look like I have the chicken pox. I'm 32.
You do not look like you have the chicken pox.
I'm 32 and I have acne everywhere on my face.
I will say those little dots are like almost invisible.
They're literally crazy.
It's
I know
amazing.
this one. So I put on the little pimple patches. Mm-hmm. They're called Mighty Hero. Mm-hmm. If you want to sponsor us, whatever.
Wait, they're Mighty Patch. And then it's like Mighty Hero something.
You know what you're called. Mighty Patch. Anyways, they you really can't tell, except for this one's pretty obvious.
When you came to the gym the other day and you were like, did you know I have these on? Had no idea.
They're all over my neck.
I think it's weird that people are doing the stars and wearing them out. Is that mean to say?
I did the stars over the weekend, and I don't know what I was thinking because older people, specifically in your family, will always comment on what's on your face, and every single 5 minutes, one of my family members was like, you have a star on your neck. And I was like, I know they're patches for a pimple. And they're like, oh, what's that? And then you have to explain the whole thing. I'm like, Nora, why did you wear this?
But also crazy. Like, am I mean for saying like, I think we need to sit down the people wearing them like to the bar.
They are. You shouldn't wear them to the bar, but I have to say wearing them to, like I wore them on the plane and it was fun. Like I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, hee hee. Okay. My little cousin who's 12 years old, she was like, she said, oh, those are pimple patches? And I said, yeah, what did you think they were? And she was like, oh, I just thought you put stickers on your face.
That's nuts.
It's like,
that's enough to deter people from wearing them.
No, but I was dying because like she thinks of me as so like fun,
and
like,
youthful,
that she's like, I don't know, you seem like someone.
Some stickers and you were like,
I'm just gonna put it on my face, and I was like, okay, like that is such like I'm glad she thought I was like such a fun little lady.
I mean, you are a fun little lady. I think I'm the stickers are anti, but like, never mind. I was about to say like the bitchiest thing ever.
Just say it.
I don't get pimples, so like, who am I to weigh in on the subject?
That is okay.
That's why I said I shouldn't say it's really bitchy. But I have awful eczema.
Hanna, everyone has eczema. Get over it.
Not the way I do. I've lost. You don't know about when I lost fingernails.
I don't. But like, I honestly,
I used to get eczema. This was really so quick, but I used to get eczema so bad underneath my fingernails that my fingernails would fall off. Which is so foul,
so disgusting. But
and
I'm so sorry you went through that.
So bad between my hands that someone had to write for me in school because I couldn't bend my fingers.
Okay, so you got that instead of pimples.
Now eczema is a little better. I have it on my scalp. I get it on my eyelids sometimes. I get it on my lips a lot. Like right now, I have like a little flare up here, and then everyone thinks it's a cold sore, and it's like maybe, but the only thing that'll cure is my eczema cream. So that's how I know it's eczema.
Jemima Kirk did a whole. We're so far from the
Where
episode.
are we at time wise?
I think we need to stop in like 5 minutes.
Okay, but I feel like better.
We're getting better. Can I say one thing about Jemima Kirk's eczema? Jemima Kirk from Girls. The girl who plays Jessa.
Her name's Jemima?
Yeah, Jemima Kirk.
In real life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jemima Kirk.
Jemima.
Yeah, I know. Like the syrup. I know. It's crazy. I know. It's.
Is she white?
She is white. Yes.
All the way?
Yes.
And her parents are white? And they named her Jemima?
I don't, but I think that
there's no way anyone.
The syrup is an issue.
The syrup is an issue, but like,
I
the
don't.
syrup was very popular and known at the time Jemima was born.
I don't know. I think Jemima can anyone can be named Jemima. The syrup was fucked up.
Absolutely.
And I actually think they might have changed it, the syrup, because it's incredibly racist. So like I think they did do some changes there. Let's just backtrack for a second.
Can I say something just really quick? It's not problematic. I'm just saying at the time
we're not saying anything problematic.
At the time her parents named her though, the Jemima syrup, I believe, was like
yes, it was
pretty big and poppin'.
Yeah.
So I think it was pretty bold. What the syrup was fucked up, but to name your white baby Jemima feels also maybe a little weird.
Maybe it was
a protest.
Maybe they were at the grocery store and they were like, I mean, my aunt, her name's Kim, and she's amazing. She always tells a story that her mom they weren't sure what they were going to name her, and then she was in the bathroom and she saw the Scott Kim toilet paper, and then they like decided, oh, Kim, that's a great name.
Naming we're
so
too complex
funny
now.
Yeah, I know,
that's a better story.
That's such a funny story.
I hope the name is that they saw the syrup and we're like, Jemima. Yeah, she'll be Jemima. Okay, tell me about her eczema.
I don't know where the name originates for her personally. We can look it up. That being said, she has really bad eczema on her lips to the point where she has to wear red lipstick to cover it, or she like feels like she has to. Mm-hmm. And people are always like giving her shit because she's always like, I guess, looking too sexy, like when she's like walking around getting groceries and she has like big red lips, men. But like, yeah, she has this crazy eczema. Now the fact seems really boring because we just went on this whole tangent with like race politics, but like I'm just saying, like, eczema is crazy.
See, when I had really bad eczema on my legs, where my legs looked really scratched up, mm-hmm. I wish I could have thought of something cool. I just used to pretend that like my cat would not stop attacking me.
Would you have used the stars
on my eczema?
Yeah,
if they were just for covering up. My eczema is kind of a bitch because it's like, I mean, I actually think most eczemas are like this, where like you have to be really careful what you use on it. Like you can't just be like trying random products.
Yeah.
Because it normally will make it worse. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother both had like awful eczema, and my mom we used to have it on our hands, and she'd put this ointment on our hands. Then she'd put gloves on our hands, and then she'd duct tape our hands because me and my brother would like take off the gloves in our sleep and itch. I used to get blood all over my bed.
And that you guys were kind of at 5 minutes.
Okay, so let's wrap up. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Carrie's boyfriend, oh my God, who I thought would remind you of you know who.
So when I stopped drinking, we know who you, and if you're listening to this pod, you know. When I stopped drinking it's been over a year now, and there's this guy that I went out with who also was a non-drinker. He said that he would not have sex with me because it like got to the point where we were hooking up, where we were like in hookup stage, and he was like, you cannot have sex because you're in the first like 2 months of your sobriety or something. And I was like,
and he said that to you, which is like,
he said that to me, and I was kind of like, that's weird that you're saying that to me because I'm not like going to become addicted to sex. I'm not like a sex crazy person. So it's just like, it's weird that he like put that on me.
I do think in this episode, I kind of thought like, shame on Carrie. Mm-hmm. It felt like he made his boundary clear and then she made him feel bad. And then when the consequences were there, it ended with him showing up drunk outside her window, which I think is like not funny. I think that's like really sad that he's drinking again. But even before that, he clearly was like addicted to the sex, and this is her fault. Like she kind of like pushed him to say
she literally grabbed him,
and then she was like,
oh, he's being too much. He like loves me.
She was like, go home, go to a meeting, buy some cookies. I was like,
what?
You bitch.
But this also brought me back to that situation with that guy, because he said, he was like, I won't have sex with you because of this AA rule, which like I think coming from him was frustrating because it made it seem like I didn't have autonomy over my life. But at the same time, then later he did try to have sex with me and was like, fuck it, let's have sex. And then I was saying no, and he was like bummed. So then it's like this episode was like he's kind of being Carrie vibes.
Yeah.
It's like 1 minute you're respecting the boundary, the next minute, or like even putting the boundary on me.
Right.
And then the next minute you're like, fuck it.
Also, like, Carrie, when he said to her on the street, like, I'm in program and I'm not supposed to have sex or go on dates or whatever he said, like for the first month or first year, whatever he said, why didn't she just say like, well, you have my number, call when, and I know that then we wouldn't have an episode if Carrie just did the right thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, sometimes she's like so genuinely just selfish.
Literally.
Like
so selfish.
Her needing to feel validated and needing to get the call back, like, is more important to her than the boundary he set. And then when it didn't really match with what she wanted, like now he wants to have sex all the time and he loves me, she was like, go to a meeting and get those cookies, like thinking she's doing like the right thing.
It is also though, and I think we've talked about this before, the one thing I did like about this episode, his reaction to the sex was crazy when he was jumping on the bed, but the talking about having sex sober, I think we've talked about this before. Yeah. I could not tell you a time that I had sex before I stopped drinking where I didn't at least have one glass of wine in me or like one beer, because it's like not even like in a, oh, I'm always drinking kind of vibe, but it's like you go on a date, you go to a bar, you go to a restaurant, or you meet someone at a party. Like if you don't have like a partner that's consistent like all the time, then like literally like you must be always
and it's not even, and I think people do think it's like an alcoholic thing, but it's like no. I only met guys, either we went on a date or I met them at a bar, and if we had sex, like why would I not drink if I'm at a bar? Why would I not drink on a first date? I was nervous. And
it totally makes it so much less intense. Now when I'm hooking up with people, that's why I'm so like intentional now, or like so protective of it. I mean, also because of other stuff, like just men are fucking creepy. But also like so I'm trying to like find someone who's not creepy, which, we're on a journey right now and it might be happening. But anyways, what I was gonna say is like, this is like such a raw me, like we're here, like we're having sex, like I'm not like loosened up. I'm here. I'm like, this is a whole new experience. It really is like a totally different experience.
And like, I don't think I had it until Wolf. Like I had never dated someone, even like when Carlos and I were hooking up, which was like kind of consistent. Carlos kind of like not drank a lot in like a bad way, but like he was like had a glass of wine at the house. So like then I would have a glass of wine, and then it was like still having one drink before we had sex.
Anything
like,
just to kind of lighten the mood.
And then it's a lot of overcoming. Like the first time, it's great because you're like, okay, I did it. I was nervous to do it without drinking. But then it takes a minute to start to, like, you're like, I feel like you're relearning what you like in bed, what you're actually down for, what you're actually into. Literally. Because when you're a little drunk and or a little tipsy and it's a first date, like the me you have sex with the first time versus like the 10th time is like two different girls.
I was a completely different person.
Yeah.
Now I'm like much more like, how you feeling?
But to go into Carrie's selfishness, her takeaway when this guy comes to her window drunk in his underwear, like yelling at her.
Yeah.
Her last line is, I always wondered if I really was that good in bed. I was like, oh my goodness.
It was so...
it was a bummer.
Like, girl, what? Like,
it was
what
bad.
Are you even saying anymore?
This man has relapsed outside your window.
And when she throws him her robe, I was
her
like,
kimono.
Yeah, it's like no, like he has his clothes. He's taking them off because he's pissed. Also, it didn't really seem like he was just drunk. It seemed like there were a lot of things going on there.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was like on PCP or something. I had a friend who like had a PCP incident and he took off all his clothes in the street like that.
Yeah, you don't like get drunk and like, I mean, you can do crazy things when you're drunk, but like not that.
You don't have that type of energy. Maybe like a Coke moment. I don't know.
We'll never know what he did.
We'll have to dive back in, but we are at time.
Great. I would say for us, we did better in terms of like recapping the episode and making our stories only about the episode.
The eczema detour was with the Jemima.
Well, that became because of the pimple detour.
Which came because of, how do we get to pimples?
You said you had a great face for makeup.
How did we get to that? Wow.
You were talking about the wedding.
How did we get to that?
Was that after I talked about the orgy? Orgy was episode related.
Wow. So we went from orgy to eczema. We went from orgy to Jemima Kirk's lipstick eczema.
I didn't know that about her. I do know about her lipstick, but I didn't know why it was connected.
That's
kind of badass. I like
cool.
I like
She's
her lipstick.
So cool. I love her.
She's really funny online.
She's amazing. She actually did a promotion for Stars, the pimple patches.
Great.
And she was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's like a box here. I'm supposed to unbox. She has an accent. She's like, there's like some box. Sorry, she doesn't talk like that. She has a British accent.
I literally don't know anything about her. I just know all her selfies.
She's like, here's the box. Like, I don't know, buy them.
This
and it was like, it was so genuine.
Ever.
Like, she genuine was just like, Gen Z like says that you
can use them.
So like,
did she even use them?
No, she doesn't even put them on her face. She's like, so if you want them, like, do it.
That kind of feels like if you were to do an ad.
Yeah.
And sent me this.
But it actually went viral because it was so funny.
Yeah.
And that made me want to buy the Stars.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, I feel like if you're going to do an ad, it either needs to be amazing, like really align with your brand and you can really sell it and we believe you, or it needs to be like that. But it can't be like Khloe Kardashian is like selling us headache medicine or anti-anxiety medicine. It's like
no.
No.
Or yeah. Or like Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga as well. It's like when you are selling a product that is so aligned with who you are, I'm okay with it. Or when you do it like that, where you like don't give a shit and you're genuine and you just like take the box out and you don't even play with the product. Like I like that as well.
She literally like had no idea. She's like, I think it's called an unboxing video. I don't really know what's going on. They want me to do a video. Here's the box. And like just like, no. So good. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, show it to me.
Okay. And on that note, I love you, Hanna.
Shout out to Becky Hermenze, our, what do we call her?
Production and video manager and editor.
And then Sean Curlier for our intro and outro music.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you guys for listening. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. It's all High Heels and Punchlines. Leave a review. Send this to someone who has eczema or who is named Jemima or who has had an orgy or who likes Sex and the City.
I have something to say after this. All right. Love you, Hanna.
Bye.
Bye.